Hah?
Ni ambil.
Ini sayur ni.
Sayur.
Oh.
Kari pap.
Bihun.
Oh, nak bihun.
Bihun sambal. Ada kacang?
Okey, ada.
Sorry ya.
Dan sayur sahaja.
Sayur saja.
Okey.
Dah habis. Tahu.
Tiga.
Tahu dalam sayur.
Well, I've gotten part of my food for the day. Today is getting ready in Malaysia for another holiday. Deepavali is coming up, which is an Indian, or not a Indian, it's a Hindu holiday, Sikh holiday, and Jain holiday. So it's celebrated by a lot of the Indian community here in Malaysia. Deepavali is known as the Festival of Lights, and depending on which part of India you're from, you're celebrated in different ways. If you're from northern India, it signifies one thing, and if you're from southern India, it signifies something else. I'm not an expert on any of these religious holidays, so I'll just leave it at that. If you're interested in what the difference between North and South India in terms of Deepavali celebrations are, you can look that up. It sort of reminds me of the Guy Fawkes celebration in Britain, although I'm not sure it's a celebration. But Guy Fawkes Day is celebrated for two reasons, depending on who you talk to. First, they celebrate the fact that he didn't blow up Parliament. Second group celebrates the fact that he tried to blow up Parliament. So there's a lot about British politics that I don't think I will ever understand. Something I learned that I shouldn't do on YouTube, but yet I always remember it after I do it, is not to set milestones in the videos, like announcing that Deepavali is coming up or that Guy Fawkes Day is also coming up. Sort of ignores the fact that these videos, if they get published at all, may not get published anytime close to the holidays or the dates I mentioned. I'm pretty sure that this one's going to be published on Deepavali, but anything can happen. Today is Friday, so I'm off on my Friday walk, which is usually a fairly long one. And I'm starting by walking over to the KLCC Towers to get some recording of some of the Deepavali installations they have on the floor. They're quite involved. They take a long time to make. They usually consist of either sand, colored sand, or colored bits of rice in various kinds of elaborate designs. And I asked the security guard for one of them how long it took to make, and he said it took them over a month to actually do it. So I can't imagine, and when you look at these, you see how intricate they are and why they have fences around them. These particular images are at KLCC, which is the Kuala Lumpur Convention Center, where the Petronas Twin Towers are located. After I leave here, I'm going to be going over to another mall, the Pavilion Mall, and to take a picture of the fountain installation there. But these are all over the city. You can run into these practically anywhere. You see them a lot in shopping centers, but they're also located near temples and things like that. Something else that I had hoped to put off until I returned to the US in December was replacing some of my clothes. That was another plan that has gone down in flames. I brought 3 pairs of shorts with me on this trip, and I think it was 2, maybe 3 pair of pants. But 2 of the pairs of shorts are in desperate need of repair or replacement. Normally, I was planning on replacing them when I return to the US, but that is too far away, so I have opted to replace them here in Kuala Lumpur, which usually requires a trip to a store, trying on several pairs of pants or shorts, and then, you know, maybe buying a pair or 2. I hate that. I hate trying on clothes. I just want them to order them, get them at my house, and have them fit. And in the US, that works because over the last 20, maybe 30 years, I found a place where I can do that in the mail. Not here. And although they could mail me new clothes or an order of shorts here in Kuala Lumpur, I no longer have a fixed address for them to send things to. So that means I'm on the free market looking for a pair of shorts. Also shirts. You might notice that this shirt that I'm wearing now is new as far as video is concerned. You've never seen this shirt in a video before. That's because I bought it last week. And another one just like it with a different color. So I was lucky in that sense that I was able to find clothes that actually fit me, because finding larger size clothes in an Asian country is not always easy. Sometimes you really have to go to several different shops to find something that will actually fit. A couple of years ago, I had to buy a pair of walking shoes, and it took me weeks to track down not just the kind of shoe I wanted, but the size that would fit me. So it's quite an adventure if you're a North American trying to replace any kind of clothing here. Any day now, I expect the mask requirement on public transport to be lifted. However, that won't be today. As you saw there, today's walk involved a little bit of monorailing. And my route, sometimes I walk somewhere and take the monorail somewhere else and then walk some more. That's what I'm doing today. I started out walking to KLCC, then walked back to Bukit Bintang, and then took the monorail to here, which is KL Central. And now I'm going to walk back to Masjid Jamek because it's Friday, and the Friday market at the mosque should be in action by the time I get there. Well, I'm over here in the Brickfields section of town now. Everything looks like it's getting set up for the holiday on Monday. A lot of stalls are being set up along the road. Things are being tidied up a bit. but I'm surprised that there's not more color here. In years past, Deepavali reminded me of wild shades of yellow, orange, red, and blue, and probably an odd other color thrown in there just for good measure. But today, it doesn't really look like it's that vivid. When I started walking through the stalls, people started putting things away. I thought they just were wary of having me come take pictures of them. But in reality, I think it's going to rain, and they know that. So I'm going to have to wrap up my visit here quick. Most holidays in Malaysia have some kind of fireworks involved. These are set up, I guess, for Deepavali. Here's the color I was looking for before. This is going to be turned into sugarcane drink later. Air Tibu. Sometimes the best way to get across the street, whether there's crosswalks or stoplights or not, is to take the crossovers. And if you're new to a city, sometimes these are pretty interesting places. Monday is Deepavali, and Monday is a public holiday here in Malaysia. And since it's a Monday holiday, that means that on Friday the entire country is on the move. Anytime, as I've mentioned several times before, anytime there's a public holiday in Malaysia, the easiest and most relaxing thing to do is simply to stay home, because everybody is trying to travel. The Brickfields area, the new Brickfields area, is right in downtown Kuala Lumpur. It's maybe 100, 200 meters away from KL Central, which is where I'm heading now, trying to outwalk the rain, take the monorail back to the area I'm staying in, maybe grab something for lunch on the way, and then call it a day. Get to work on this video. I just stopped at KL Central for a coffee, and now my walk back to my house is about 5 kms. But like I said a minute ago, I'm going to be stopping at the Masjid Jamak Mosque to see if the Friday market is in full swing. Because I start these walks early, I often miss a lot of the stuff that I like to talk about. Like the Masjid Jamak market, for example, doesn't open up at 8 o'clock in the morning like I would like it to. Usually it's set up so that people arriving and leaving the prayer time on Friday, which is usually around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, they can stop and grab something to eat or take home with them for lunch. So if I show up there too early, none of the vendors are going to be there, and the ones that are there won't be ready. So I have to time my activities to arrive there at a sensible time so that I can choose what I want. I think I mentioned once before that I don't really put the hammer down on these walks. I just sort of wander around. I'm not in any hurry. I know sometimes when I'm on these, especially the path along the river, I'll see people that are out for real exercise. They are just walking like maniacs. They're covered with sweat. They're breathing hard. Their face is red, although that could be sunburn. And I almost get caught up in their vortex when they go by. Not me. I'm not in any hurry at all. I do get covered with sweat, though. That's what this is for. The only problem with walking along the river here is that there's very little shade in some parts of it. Right now it's 11:13 in the morning. It's 29 degrees, 87% humidity. the dew point is 25. So I have a video coming up about dew point, but I'll just say that right now a dew point of 25 is very uncomfortable. Sometimes when I'm doing these videos, you're probably wondering, Bill, does anybody live in Kuala Lumpur except you? Because I'm often the only person you ever see. You're lucky there's a limiter on the audio. That motorcycle was making, probably going for a world record of noise production. If you see any blood coming out of my ears, that's the reason why. But anyway, whenever I'm making these videos, there's very few other people that are seen in them. That's because of two reasons. One, I generally get out on the road or on the sidewalk before most of the rest of Kuala Lumpur is out of bed. So naturally, there'll be very few people on the road then. The second reason, though, is that very few people walk around in Kuala Lumpur during the day because it's just too hot. It's uncomfortable, it's sweaty, and we're in a gigantic city, so most of the people that are here to work. I walk around in a t-shirt and shorts. Most of the other people that I see have long pants, dress shirts. The women have dresses or a Malay dress on. That's not the kind of garb that you want to be wearing outside in 30-degree heat. It just isn't. So no one goes out walking. Well, I shouldn't say no one. Most people would not go out walking during the day because it's hot. So you're probably wondering, why do I do it? I enjoy it. I like walking when I'm sweating. I like exercising when I'm sweating because it actually helps me feel like I've accomplished something. And besides, if I wait too late in the day, when people say that it cools off later in the day, it doesn't really cool off. It might drop from 30 to 28. The humidity might drop a little bit, but it never really gets comfortable. The only time I've really found it to be comfortable, temperature-wise here, is really early in the morning when I wake up. Usually about 4 o'clock, I'll go out on the balcony, and it'll be nice out there. You could sit there and have a cup of coffee, enjoy the view. I'm pretty high up where I'm living. And it's cool for a little while, but then eventually it gets hot. Well, I timed the market just right. They're open. All the vendors seem to be up and running. And I've already gotten what I want. The thing is, I started my eating once a day routine again. So I try to buy food that I can have for lunch. I try not to eat breakfast anymore. So I go out and walk. And then I buy some food. Selamat pagi. And then I take it home and enjoy it at home. And I try to make that my one and only food run for the day. Now that's hard to do here because there are so many nice kinds of food that you can buy throughout the day that eating only once a day sometimes seems like almost deprivation or some kind of real sacrifice. So I don't do it every day. I do it every day except weekends. Like Saturday and Sunday, I usually don't do it on weekends. Okay, I think that'll wrap it up for this video. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Hey folks, thanks for watching. A recent study by J.D. Power and Associates found that 98% of those who subscribe to this channel have all of their wildest dreams come true. Think about it. Be seeing you.